What's up, guys? Welcome back to DCA. Today what we're going to do is take a look at Fantom. So I'm sure you're aware that Fantom has been correcting quite a bit as of late. We came from a high in the first or second week of January of around $3.35 down to where we're at now at about $1.25. And we actually went as low as around $1. So we're going to take a look at what this means for Fantom and whether Fantom is still an asset worth looking at, worth purchasing at these severely depressed prices. So we're down around 70% from our high for the year at around $3.35. You'll notice that we actually got rejected essentially off of our prior all-time high. So we didn't quite get there, but we got very close to our prior all-time high, which is actually at around $3.70, and we got rejected. And that's not to be, this was not unexpected, given that the market, the total crypto market in general, was taking a beating during this time. It was sort of to be expected that Fantom was also going to get pulled down with everything else. So we're going to take a look at why a lot of this has happened. We're going to talk about some of the most current events for Fantom. We're going to look at the network, some of the fundamentals behind the network, and why that makes it such an attractive option. And we're going to talk about, where this asset may be going heading into 2022 and even beyond that. The first thing we have to address is the elephant in the room. And this is Andre Cronje leaving the project. What does this mean for the asset? Well, I think, when you have a developer like this, a famous developer who decides to leave the project, it's obviously going to cause shockwaves. But I think, that coupled with the fact that the tweet that was sent out that discussed the fact that Anton Nell and Andre Cronje would be leaving crypto, they used a particular word that I think sort of sent shockwaves through the Fantom network and through the crypto, through the crypto community at large. And that was that they would be terminating these projects that they're a part of, things like Yearn Finance, for instance. But at the end of the day, they don't really have the power to terminate these projects. They sort of ran the front ends for these different projects. And I think it was, most likely a poor choice of words. And I think what you saw because of this, where, on the 6th of March, we were sitting at around $1.70 or so. And the price of the asset just tanked right after that. So that's, shortly thereafter, we went all the way down to about $1. So I think a lot of what you were experiencing right there was panic selling. And what you see oftentimes is the panic selling is by the smaller investors, because they aren't quite sure what's going to happen, so they panic sell. And we see this all the time. You saw this happen with COVID. Just think back to any time that you see one of these reactionary sells. So think back even to May, when we had Elon Musk tweeting that Tesla is no longer accepting Bitcoin. You saw a reactionary panic sell. And while, these panic sell events can go on for quite some time, in general, they typically recover. They're typically reactionary events that the market recovers from. So I think that's a lot of what you're seeing here. In fact, if we take a look at what's going on the network right now, so let's take a look at the whale wallets holding Fantom. And we've actually seen that whales are accumulating the asset. So we have both this instance where the total average quantity of Fantom that whale wallets hold and the value of the asset that the whale wallets hold has significantly increased. So we've actually seen that whales have been accumulating Fantom. So $2.4 million worth of Fantom, or 2 million Fantom, was just put into one of these large whale wallets. So we've seen that the Fantom wallets, the largest Fantom wallets, have been acquiring more of the asset during this sell-off. So while you're getting, a lot of the smaller wallets selling, you're actually seeing the largest wallets acquiring. And I think that's going to be key because they aren't going to be acquiring the asset if they think that, this price right now at around $1.25 is the best it's ever going to get. And now let's just take a look at the price history of Fantom. And this is something I've talked a lot about, on this channel numerous times now. I've made videos calling Fantom the gift that keeps on giving because if you are an investor or a swing trader even, look at the opportunities Fantom has given you. We've had a 90% correction, a 96% correction, an 80% correction, an 83% correction, and now we're looking at a 72% correction. So Fantom has given you numerous opportunities to acquire the asset at a massive discount. And each time that it's done this, it's recovered and gone up hundreds of percent from there. So, even if we look at this most recent event where back in October, we corrected from around $3.70 all the way down to around $1.15. From there, within just a few weeks, we went up another 200%. And, that's been basically in the setting of this more bearish time in the market. Now, one thing I will say is if you look at least on the USD valuation, we're right at this level right here. So we're sitting right at this around $1.25 level. You probably don't want to start seeing weekly closes head below this level, particularly for the fact that, there's some speculation out there that this is a double top move that we're making. And if that's true, then, you're looking at prices much lower than that. Depending on how you're interpreting the situation, we could get down as far as 20 cents or so. And quite frankly, if we do head into a full-blown bear market, that's not out of the realm of possibility because as we've discussed numerous times on this channel, altcoins, I don't care how quality your project is, altcoins tend to get annihilated in the setting of full out bear markets. Now, we've been in just a bearish segment of the market and, we're seeing a place where the asset has gone down as much as 70%. Imagine if this bear market were to just carry on for, a year or even more than a year, getting down as much as, 80 or 90%. That was routine for altcoins in the last bear market. And we've actually even seen a lot of the altcoins this cycle have got down as much as 90% or more. And we're not just talking, pure junk coins here. We've seen a lot of what many people have considered quality projects go down 90% or more. So to say that, Fantom can't go down to these levels, I think, quite frankly, you're fooling yourself. But at the end of the day, you have to decide as an investor, whether you believe that we're heading into a further bear market now, or whether you think that the bottom is in for the market, or at least it's close to being in. Now, I think everything that Fantom does is going to closely hinge upon what happens with the market, obviously, because we're just not in a place where these altcoins can sort of, for extended periods of time anyway, go on their own runs without Bitcoin and, quite frankly, Ethereum sort of moving the market forward. If they continue to trend down, you're going to see the altcoins continue to move down. Almost all of them, in my opinion. So, I think that's the first thing we need to lay out is a lot of this depends on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Whatever they're doing, if they're continuing to show strength, I think you'll see a lot of the altcoins recover. But if we start heading down from here, if Bitcoin starts losing that 40K level, starts heading down into the lower 30Ks, I think you're going to see a lot of altcoins, which tend to be at sort of a critical support level right now. You see this across many altcoins. This is not just unique to Fantom. You're going to see a lot of them lose their way and start heading down to much lower levels. So that's the first point we'll make. The second thing that I want to point out, and this is another reason that, I believe that regardless of what happens in the setting of a bear market, we have to look at this. And this is the Fantom daily transaction chart. And you've just seen that Fantom, the daily transactions have just been increasing and increasing. And this is one of your most important, in my opinion, this is one of your most important signs of adoption. Since January, the price has been falling. The transactions have been increasing, and that is key. That is the sign of a healthy network. The next thing we'll quickly look at is Fantom with relation to Ethereum. And you'll notice that, and this is pretty interesting. We come up, we'll hit a major price peak against Ethereum, and then we'll come down to this trend line. And we've done this for the third time now. So we came down to this trend line, went up, hit this peak, and now look right where we're at. So we were here in August, we were here in January. And these are both times when the price went on a huge move. So because a lot of these altcoins are they're being valued with relation to Ethereum. And we've seen Fantom gaining ground with respect to Ethereum over time. So if you lose this trend, if you lose this, especially in a bear market, if things are looking bearish for the market overall, which at the moment, in spite of, we've had things look decent here and there, I would still say that we're in a bearish segment of the market right now. If you fall below this trend line, it's something that, may spell further downward movement. So you do not, realistically, you don't want to see Fantom fall below this trend line. Now, last time we got here, we bounced right off of it. Prior to that, we sort of rode along this trend prior to taking off. So this would be in the middle of January. So that's where we're at right now. And, quite frankly, this may be this level right here may be the most important of all these things, at least in the shorter term, to be watching, is the Fantom with relation to Ethereum valuation. So the next thing I want to show you is this. This is the total value locked on the Fantom network. So we're sitting at around $6.7 billion right now. So you could think of this as the total value locked dominance is at around 3.2%. Now, in addition to that, if we go back and look, let's go back to where we were at, and we have this here back in May. Notice that Fantom, so you can see right all the way at the bottom, Fantom, the total value locked dominance for Fantom was 0.05%. So to have come all the way up to where we're at now at around 3.2% since May means that Fantom has just made huge strides. Another way that we can value a network is by looking at the market cap to total value locked. And we can see that Fantom is actually sitting at around 0.47. So the market cap divided by total value locked. So the higher this is, you could think of the asset being sort of more overvalued, the higher that this is, okay? Because that means the market cap is much higher than the total value locked on the network. Now notice that Fantom actually is by far the lowest out of anything in the, even in the top 20 or so. So Kava would be your next one down, so at 0.9. So most of these assets are being valued at 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times their total value locked, where Fantom right now, and a lot of this has occurred recently, is being valued at around half of its, its market cap is around half of its total value locked. So this to me tells me that, Fantom is greatly undervalued, especially when you take a look at some of these other networks. The technology that Fantom uses annihilates many of these other, these other assets on the list here. So Fantom is one of the fastest networks with time to finality at around 1 to 2 seconds, and the network fees are negligible. I mean, we're talking a penny. The time to finality is much faster than almost anything else out there, and the network fees are very low. So for this to be this undervalued, this tells me that this recent sell-off that we saw was just a complete overreaction. One more thing that we can look at that's right along this, what we're discussing here, it's in the same vein as everything else we're discussing, is this Fantom daily verified contracts. So let's take a look at how many verified daily contracts we see on the Fantom network. So in February, there were actually around 4,500 verified contracts. If you go back to February of last year, it was around 40. So there's just been massive growth of this network. And notice that as we go on, so let's just come in here and look. So this would be February in here. We've actually are increasing even into this more bearish segment of the market. So what's the bottom line here? What are we saying overall? In my opinion, Fantom is one of the most undervalued networks right now. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. If you guys like this type of content, hit like and subscribe. You could head over to the Discord channel where we do a lot of discussion regarding the macroeconomic picture of the cryptocurrency asset class. You could also sign up for the DCA index risk model there, which is a machine learning algorithm model. We have that for Fantom, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most of the top altcoins. So that's it for this one, guys. Until next time, as usual, see you.